If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. To pass the leadership inspection, they created a green lawn in a second. You keep on faking things, deceiving both superiors and subordinates. Fool me, and I'll fool you right back.
So that's how the green lawn came about. Which leader asked for this? In this day and age, there's nothing they can't do. You wouldn't believe the things they come up with. Just unbelievable stuff. Planting trees on cement? That looks so creepy. Which expert came up with this? In various regions of China, local governments have resorted to deceptive tactics to pass inspections. These include actions like planting trees on cement and temporarily laying down grass, measures that are not only costly but also ineffective, serving no real purpose and frustrating the public. Such actions have become prime examples of vanity projects. There sure are a lot of strange things happening nowadays. Why are they watering the plants on a rainy day? What's going on here? Is there something wrong, or is there some other purpose behind it? In the Tongchuan district of Dazhou, Sichuan province, volunteers who were supposed to be providing home care services for the elderly were caught staging their work for appearances. Video showed volunteers cutting hair in a second, washing feet in 2 seconds, and trimming nails in 3. One elderly person commented, "They didn't do anything at all. It's all fake. They just set it up, took a picture, put a comb on top, took a picture, showed a nail clipper with their feet. It's all about scamming the country, fooling the people, fooling the government." In April of this year, the color change of shop signs in Sanhe City, Hebei province went viral. Shopkeepers were reportedly required to change the color of their signs and banned from using red, blue, or black as a base color. As a result, well-known stores like Mi Shui, which had always used red signs, were repainted green or gray. Photos also showed local hospitals had their Red Cross signs changed to green. Many business owners complained that customers were now having trouble finding their stores as the signs all looked similar.
Today I happened to walk by the Sanhe City Hospital and I saw that the original red signs have all been changed to green. The emergency signs at the hospital were also switched to this grey tone, which doesn't stand out much. I remember the hospital emergency signs used to be red. I don't know why they changed it.
What further confused local business owners was that there was no official document or legal basis for this rule, only a vague statement from the city's urban planning requirements.
I just don't get it. Was the color change based on feng shui, or was it because the red, black and blue clash with some leader's zodiac? Red is the most common color used in the food industry. Blue is standard for tech companies, and black is a classic choice for high-end brands. Cutting out these 3 colors across the board essentially kills the brand identity of a whole bunch of businesses. So when a leader has a bright idea, small businesses end up running around in circles. Changing the sign costs anywhere from a few thousand to tens of thousands, which is equivalent to a small business profit for half a year. Taking it down and putting it back up again, that's just money down the drain. Even if the government pays for it, that's still taxpayers' money, right? With this kind of wasteful spending, who would dare to invest?
A similar incident occurred earlier in Kanzhou, Hebei, where local authorities reportedly decided to standardize the shop signs in the area to improve the city's image. All the signs were changed to black with white letters, which quickly drew online criticism for looking too eerie and resembling a funeral home. The news quickly went viral, and the local government, under pressure, dismantled the signs overnight. Online commentators said some local governments were abusing their power and meddling where they shouldn't. Unfortunately, some of them not only enjoy making pointless changes, but also lack good judgment, even making bizarre decisions. During the pandemic, central government leaders visited the residential area in Wuhan to inspect the living conditions of local residents, and the property management pretended to deliver groceries to the residents. Residents shouted out of their windows, "It's all fake, it's all fake. The people are eating overpriced vegetables."
It's fake, it's fake. The property management is faking it.
These absurd scenes reveal how local governments in China go to great lengths to stage fake projects in order to pass inspections and improve their performance records. From planting trees on cement to temporarily laying down grass, these costly measures not only serve no real purpose, but also waste resources, frustrating the public. These vanity projects are prime examples of how appearance often comes at the expense of practical benefits. In Zhejiang's Hangzhou, a newly built neighborhood handed over in June raised concerns when homeowners noticed something strange about the landscaping. Part of the grass was directly planted on cement, covering about 300 square meters. Homeowner Mr. Wang suspected the community was faking its green coverage to meet official standards. They laid grass directly on the concrete floor, so this grass cannot survive. Originally, when it was handed over, this whole area was covered in grass, but now it's been dug up and turned into parking spaces. You can still see the markings on the ground. Similarly, in Changsha, a developer carried out temporary landscaping measures to pass green space inspections, laying grass on plastic tracks and cemented ground. At a golf course on the east shore of Dianqing Lake in Kunming, which encroached upon a first-level protected area of the lake, local authorities tried to stage a tree planting operation to pass inspection by inserting branches into the soil, a tactic later exposed as fake. The officials involved were required to pull out small trees with their hands in very awkward situations. Not a single one is being watered. Look, there's just one pipe sticking into the ground. In Shandong's Tai'an, a village invested tens of millions in building 132 acres of high-standard farmland, but none of the irrigation systems worked. Villagers reported that the village secretly faked the project to pass inspections, placing pipes for show. These fraudulent actions highlight the short-sightedness and dishonesty of local governments under pressure to show results. Behind the seemingly impressive projects lies wasted resources and environmental harm. Yet the absurdity of these vanity projects is far from over, with many more bizarre projects still draining public resources across the country. Recently, Hebei's been going all out. They've trimmed all the trees along the streets into cubes, supposedly to avoid power lines. Why not just trim them a little to avoid the high-voltage lines? Why do they have to cut them into squares? Does being square make them insulated? How are they supposed to provide shade now? What could have been done for $50 is now costing $500 per tree just to give them a so-called haircut. Doesn't this haircut need to be done every month like we do for people? In Liaoning province, a teacher assigned homework requiring elementary school students to take a group photo at scenic spots depicted on Chinese bills. Many parents complained in the parent group that they felt forced to fake it. One parent said,
Faking things is definitely wrong, but who can complete this kind of task? How much money would it take to walk through these places? Do regular people not have to go to work or live their lives? Is this homework for the kids or is it for the parents?
This student, who posted a video complaining about bizarre school rules in Hebei province, got a warning from the school.
After lights out, my stomach hurt and I'd had to go to the bathroom. I was then made to stand in the hallway until midnight as punishment. After lights out, when sitting up to wipe my nose during a bad cold, I got reported for violating the rules. No filling is allowed in the bread, only plain milk, only apples, oranges or bananas as fruit, otherwise they will be confiscated. After buying food, I ate my food in the dorm instead of the cafeteria, and my parents were forced to come for a week. During self-study, we're not allowed to look up. The teachers in the academic department will suddenly make a noise, and anyone who looks up is labelled as not studying properly. The teacher says those who focus fully on their studies can hear outside noises. The bathroom on the 5th floor is broken, so if you go to the 4th floor to use the bathroom, you get sent home for a week. After evening study, you can't go to the bathroom. If you wear green shoes, you get point deduction and a report. The teacher repeated in the chat group for 3 days, saying you can only wear black or white shoes and no coloured shoelaces. After lights out, one student farted and the roommate laughed, and the teacher saw it. The next day, the entire school was told that someone in this class farted in the dorm, causing a sensation.
Months ago, News about a neighborhood in Lanzhou, Gansu province, faking air quality tests grabbed attention. Residents of the community reported. They spray once around 7 a.m. and once around 7 p.m., only spraying under the instrument, not anywhere else, just to fool the testing equipment. These everyday examples of deception reflect China's culture of dishonesty from the top to bottom. Local governments and grassroots organizations, under pressure to pass inspections, sacrifice the public's normal lives and create absurd spectacles. However, the danger of these vanity projects extend far beyond the surface, deeply eroding the integrity of society. Recently, many regions in China launched slope protection projects, building terraced fields on barren mountains. Locals complained. They built on flat land and moved farmers' fields to the mountains. How are farmers supposed to farm? The water won't even reach them. Some even pointed out that with irrigation systems in place and a potential heavy rain, these projects could result in mudslides. Others commented, it costs tens of thousands to reclaim less than half an acre of land. It looks like endless vanity projects, just so officials can line their pockets. A photo of this project went viral, showing a local government putting up a new, attractive wall outside a crumbling courtyard to create the illusion of progress. Locals mocked. All show, no substance. These vanity projects are creating chaos, and they're beyond saving. Look at this. They put all the fitness equipment in the middle of nowhere. Who's supposed to be using this? This is nonsense. There's definitely something fishy going on behind the scenes. These image-based projects not only waste financial resources, but also harm the environment and people's livelihoods. Many local governments, under the guise of development, use these opportunities to line their pockets, leaving the public to bear the consequences. Unfortunately, this culture of deception is not an isolated issue, but a reflection of a systemic problem. In March, the party secretary of a township in Henan province spent nearly 2.5 million yuan to create a classic viewing route for an inspection of the local living environment. The walls of 21 villages, covering over 400,000 square meters, were painted white. One online comment said, 250 million yuan spent on painting walls, yet no money for roads or education. This is basically using the people's hard-earned money as paint. Another sarcastically remarked, can white walls cover up poverty? This whitewashing isn't about the environment, it's about the officials' performance. They've installed so many solar panels here, but is this going to do more good or more harm? They've covered the whole mountain. A certain metaverse industrial park, which received support from the central government, became a ghost town just 3 years after it was built. 600 servers use 200,000 kilowatt hours of electricity daily, but serve only 8 virtual visitors. Using satellite images, people found that the land's confiscation changed from permanent basic farmland to digital infrastructure land. This project, which responded to the central government's call and claimed to be a new form of productivity, ended up building an absurd technological bubble with real money. Reports show that there are more than 2,500 industrial parks at the provincial level or higher in China, with an average vacancy rate of 35%. In some areas, the situation is even more extreme, with 9 out of 10 parks empty. Many local governments, driven by the desire to improve their performance records, blindly invest in high-tech projects without considering market demand or operational capacity. This has resulted in huge amounts of wasted money, land being occupied, and public interest harmed. 60 million spent, 8 years in the making, and the result is a lighter? Yes, just a lighter. If you ask what's special about it, it's ultra thin and the flame is very stable. I'm sure there's something shady going on here. A lighter doesn't even make a penny in profit, and they spent 60 million. How long is it going to take to break even? Are the leaders out traveling and spending too much money with no way to justify the cost, so they find a project to report for reimbursement? In November 2024, a vanity project in Qingchu County, Shanxi Province, drew widespread attention. The county invested nearly 600 million yuan in a water system ecological governance project in a parking lot for the public. During the project's implementation, the local government misused funds for vanity purposes, such as adding a faux ancient roof and exterior painting to the county's office building, costing 11.9 million yuan. The project also included various decorative landscape pieces, such as a silver lotus sculpture, a decorative stone, and several fake coconut trees at a cost of 13 million yuan. China's vanity projects, such as planting trees on cement, painting the Red Cross green, constructing billion-dollar ghost cities, and providing fake services, all reveal the local government's tendency to deceive in order to boost their performance records. These absurd actions expose a system based on dishonesty, as noted in the book The 9 Commentaries on the Communist Party. Deception and lies have played a very important role in the CCP's gaining and maintaining control. From the inflated grain production figures during the Great Leap Forward to the current fake water pipes and temporary lawns, the CCP's rule has consistently relied on deception. Commentator Yuan Hongbin observed, "Every policy of the CCP is centered on deception. From the grassroots to the top, lies infiltrate every level. This culture of deceit not only wastes enormous public resources, but also erodes society's trust, leaving the public trapped in absurdity and helplessness." Historian Zhang Lifan also pointed out, "The CCP's image projects are a cover for its legitimacy, but the more they patch this cover, the more it tears, eventually failing to hide the truth. From fake vegetable deliveries in Wuhan to concrete-covered green spaces, the absurdity of these vanity projects is a direct reflection of the CCP's corruption and incompetence. When local governments prioritize appearances over the well-being of the people, and grassroots units fabricate accomplishments to boost their records, public trust is repeatedly trampled. These spectacles serve as a reminder that the CCP's deceit is deeply embedded in its system, and only by exposing the truth and awakening the public can this long-running scam be ended." The culture of deception within the CCP is not new, and its roots can be traced back to the early days of its establishment. The book 9 Commentaries on the Communist Party recounts that during the land reforms, the CCP used land redistribution as a lure to gain support from farmers for the revolution. However, after seizing power, the CCP quickly implemented collectivization, stripping farmers of their land, which led to the deaths of millions due to famine. The same trick is now being played out in today's vanity projects. Local governments spend huge sums of extravagant and hollow projects under the guise of ecological governance and digital economy, ignoring the real needs of the people. Commentator Tang Bo Chao has pointed out, "The CCP's tactics have never changed, only the forms have become more subtle. From the fake grain production numbers during the Great Leap Forward to today's fake lawns, it's all to maintain the false halo of the regime." The comparison between historical and contemporary examples highlights the core logic of CCP rule, using lies to conceal the truth and creating false appearances to hold on to power. Currently, the absurdity of vanity projects has sparked widespread public discontent. From online complaints to street protests, people's understanding of the CCP's deceptive nature is becoming clearer. In 2024, a community in Zhenzhou, Hunan, was exposed for faking its green space, leading homeowners to demand refunds from the developer and hold the government accountable. In the same year, villagers in Tai'an, Shandong, petitioned after uncovering corruption linked to a fake farmland project. These actions show that the public is awakening, and the CCP's lies can no longer hide the truth. US-based scholar He Qingliang analyzed, "The CCP's deception relies on information control, but in the internet age, the public's awakening is happening much faster than the regime anticipated. The absurdity of its vanity projects may be the catalyst for public awakening, pushing society towards a reflection and eventual change."